I thought the stranger had mistaken me for someone else. I smiled politely and said, "I think you've got the wrong guy." He didn't smile back. Instead, he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "No, I'm thanking the right man." Then he reached into his wallet, pulled out a small photograph, and handed it to me. My heart stopped. It was a picture of my wife, holding our son. The photo had been taken years ago, before I had ever seen it. I looked back at the stranger. "What is this?" He took a deep breath. "My name is Daniel, and that little boy is my son." For a second, the entire world went silent. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was impossible. My wife Emily and I had been married for 11 years. Our son Noah was 10. I had been there the day he was born. I had cut the umbilical cord. I had signed every school form. I was his father, wasn't I? Daniel looked at me with sympathy. "I didn't come here to ruin your life. I just wanted to thank you." "Thank me for what?" "For giving him the childhood I couldn't." Before I could ask another question, he handed me an envelope. Inside were copies of old photographs, hospital paperwork, and one DNA test. Father, Daniel Brooks. Mother, Emily Carter. I stared at the papers until the words blurred. "This has to be fake." "I wish it was," Daniel whispered. He explained that he and Emily had dated briefly before she met me. When she became pregnant, they had already broken up. According to Daniel, Emily told him she'd lost the baby. Months later, he moved overseas for work. Years passed. Then, by complete accident, he saw Emily's public family photos online. The little boy looked exactly like his own childhood pictures. He secretly ordered a legal DNA test through family court after finally locating them. The results confirmed what he'd suspected for years. Noah was his biological son. "But why didn't you contact us?" Daniel looked ashamed. "I wanted to, but by the time I knew the truth, your son already called someone else Dad." He looked at me. "You." I wasn't going to destroy his childhood, so I stayed away. I drove home in complete silence. That night, I placed the envelope on the kitchen table. Emily walked in. She froze. The color disappeared from her face. "Where did you get those?" "Who is Daniel?" She sat down without saying a word. Then she started crying. For nearly 15 minutes. Finally, she told me everything. When she discovered she was pregnant, Daniel had accepted a job overseas. Their relationship had already fallen apart. She panicked. Instead of telling the truth, she told him she'd miscarried. Months later, she met me. She wanted to confess, but every year that passed made the lie bigger. Eventually, she convinced herself that keeping the secret protected everyone, especially Noah. I looked at her and asked the only question that mattered. "Does Noah know?"